Kate here. Welcome to Kate's Space. Oh, it is pouring with rain outside. We've had a big storm. The wind has died down, but the gutters are overflowing, so if you can hear water, that's what that is. I've had to put as many lights on as I can because it's so grey and dark outside and therefore inside. And I wouldn't normally rush to do a flip through, but this is Hilary's book. Hilary is my friend and also my neighbour, and she is a really lovely, beautiful soul, and I wanted to make her a journal. She came over one day and looked at my books and she really liked them, I think, and then one day she came over with some fabric. This is the fabric here, which she said she had a bag. Well, it was still a bag. It was like a drawstring bag that she had as a child, and she thinks she maybe kept her Barbie doll clothes in it or something. She can't really remember. Anyway, she washed it and gave it to me, and I knew that it was going to make beautiful journals. I have another little mini journal made up that I started making for Hilary. This is just the cover, so it's a similar thing with hand stitching around, and I'm going to complete that one. But then I decided I wanted to make one that was slightly bigger for Hilary. So yes, and then also her father passed away not actually too long ago, and she gave me some documents that belonged to him, and she said, oh, I think these have got some cool sort of typography and graphics on them. Would you be interested in making them and, you know, using them in your journals? And I said, yeah, I'd love to. And I've kind of I've hung on to them for a wee while, and then I just thought, actually, I'm going to put them back into a journal for her. So anyway, this is Hilary's journal, and it's her birthday today. She's away in a different town and driving back today. So I got it finished, and I want to do a flip through, and so that's why I'm doing it in this miserable dark day. I'm not even going to be able to take photos, which is a little bit of a shame, because I always like, you know, it would be nice to post some photos, but I probably will take some photos just in this light and just, you know, just have to put up with it. Anyway, let's open it up. So it's tied with some sari silk ribbon. I didn't really know what else to do for a closure. I was thinking about putting some eyelets here and tying it, but I decided to tie it round. And I've just popped this vintage postcard on the front, birthday thoughts, and it's got roses on it. It's not written on the back. I'm not sure that I want to write on it as her birthday card. I'm like a lot of people, and I don't love my writing, but then again, yeah, I may do, and she can slip it into her book. So it's just basically an A5 size journal. I've covered it with some tea stained calico, which I've sewn onto some just cardstock file folder, manila folder, and then before I've done that, I've hand stitched this her piece of vintage fabric on, front and back, and then vintage tattered doily and some of the silk velvet ribbon that I got from Mary Makers in Australia. It's a little bit, it frays a little bit, but hopefully she won't mind that. Right, so when you open it up, I've put this vintage 1955 envelope here. It's actually an American, got an American stamp on it and a little snippet of lace and vintage stuff. Oh, and you know, contemporary and vintage there. And inside here I've put a little slip from an old post office bank book that I had. I'm not quite sure what year that's from. I can have a look. I know I bought this a while ago and I've been hanging on to it. So it's a New Zealand Savings Bank little book. It belonged to a woman called Kate Clarkson, 1970. So it's from the 70s. Also, I've had a play with some aging, and this is a French, not a document, a copy, a digital download, and I've done some aging on that and on the back, just for fun. I don't know. It's hard making a journal for someone maybe who isn't actually a junk journaler, because you don't really, I don't think you really want to put too much. Oh, you might put different stuff or not as much kind of stuff in it that you would put for someone who maybe is already a journaler of some description. Anyway, so down the spine I've also put some fabric, and I've lined it with some Tim Holtz scrapbooking paper, so it's got some good heft to it. It's sturdy. This was one of the documents that Hilary gave to me, and it's a life assurance policy that her father had. So all the documents were too big for the book, so I've kind of done some folding, and that's why that's just got a little bit there, but I kind of like the layers. So here is the next page, vintage wallpaper, which I've sewn with some more of that little fabric to the page underneath, and I've just sewn on some sari silk ribbon and some more of that velvet and some lace. And there's some more of this digital here, and I've coffee stained the back. This is just a piece of vintage wallpaper. I was playing around with my wax seals. I'm still practicing, but I just put a little flower in there. Oops, sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm struggling. There's the camera there. Yeah, it's kind of cute. I don't know what she'll think of that, but anyway. And this is an old 1947 insurance policy receipt. This is a digital from, it's one of Heather's from Ruby and Pearl. It might be from the ballet. Yeah, it is. And the blue on the back is also, I've just swapped it over and put it through again with the blue on the back. And a big lace pocket with just a guest check and a little kind of checklist thing. And one of my old vintage checks that I've got a collection of, and this one is from 1928. These are beautiful with these graphics on them. And I have these in my Etsy store, so my Etsy shop will be listed below. So if you want some of those, they are beautiful. There's 3 different kinds from 3 different dairy companies. So yeah, genuine New Zealand ephemera. This is also from a very old big book that I acquired recently, the New Zealand Gazette, July the 2nd, 1914, and so they were bound into some big leather books. They're in quite bad disrepair. Some of the pages were moldy, so I've removed all of those, and then I just really like these graphics in this type set there. Avocado dyed paper with a bit of a digital vintage wallpaper, with this little card that I played around with, I don't know, a while ago. Little image that I've coffee stained quite darkly, and a tea stained index card. This is actually from local 1960s ledger paper, so I thought that would pop in with some sari silk ruffle and a little bead dangle thing that I made a while ago. I just love the colors on these beads. Hilary's sister is a jewelry maker, and she's here from New York at the moment, and hopefully she won't have kittens when she sees that. So here's another one of, this is another part of that document that's at the front. I did actually tear it so I could use both parts. This is a Tim Holtz paper, a little cluster here with some of the last of this vintage lace piece, and I've just tucked it quite a plain tag behind here with some texture paste stenciling or modeling paste stenciling. This is a tag from the Graphics Fairy. And behind there is piano music paper, and I've just popped some ledger paper in there. And actually I probably should have, just a word to the wise, I should have lined it, because where the holes are, it's catching. So yeah, that's something I might have to have a look at. Another digital from Ruby and Pearl. I love this blue. It's just so bright. This is from a 1950s prescription pricing book, and I've made a little pocket here, and I've just tucked some little things in, a little library card and this little journaling card that I had and that I've just done a bit of dyeing, tea staining on. This is the Black Bean dyed paper, a book page out of my Weaves of New Zealand book, which is from about the 40s, I think, and I've just put this card here for writing on. This is some butter paper that I've put through the embosser because I just like the texture and the feel of it, and also if Hilary writes here, you'll still be able to see through it. And also I also like the way it lays over this eco print. Now I put this eco print in because this is actually, and this is all going to tie in because we've got the rose postcard, but this is an eco print of the last rose from the summer we've just had, and I picked it off the bush because her rose bush comes over, and I said, oh, I hope you don't mind, I took the last rose and I made this print, and she's seen it, and I know, and she's like, oh wow, that's cool. So I popped that in, and on the other side it's just the faded, it must have been one of the outside pages of the bundle layers, so she can write on here, but there's still like a faint print there too. This is another document from her father, I think when he became a resident of New Zealand. This is some vintage 1940s value just paper that I often put in my books. It's just really nice, and I always put the 2 layers in. Some more sari silk ruffle on a digital that I've tea stained on the back. And here, this is something that I've seen, I think Rose Hill paper. Heather from Rose Hill did this, I think, with the music, head of the music paper. So yeah, it is, you could slide something in there. I've just tied it, I've actually glued it down because I think I should have made it a little bit shorter so I could have put another hole in there, and maybe I could have put an eyelet in this page it stuck to and had something hanging off it. But anyway, it's just living and learning, and so I've done some texture or modeling paste on there. Yeah, I love that paper. This is some older ledger from the one that I bought in Melbourne a long time ago. Well, not a long time ago, a few years ago. I love this image. This is just out of a botanical book, and I know it's just a really beautiful blossom image. This is an envelope that I've covered in sewing pattern tissue, and I've put some lace and a little cluster there, and it's stuck here, so you could tuck something in there if you wanted to, and it says pin tuck, which is kind of cute. That's the other side of the ledger. This is another wallpaper digital from Heather at Ruby and Pearl XO, and a vintage photo which I thought was cool. Maybe it could be her mum and dad. And a little journaling card that says beautiful, and that's just clipped there with one of those little Tim Holtz clips. I don't know what those are, but they're cool. Thought she might like that. And on the other side is a little printout, Instax printout of the rose that is from Hilary's garden, again poking over my fence at the wrong time of the year. And I did a little bit of journaling and I put it on Instagram. I don't know why it struck me. I guess just because it was such a, you know, it's the middle of winter, well, not the middle of the winter, beginning of winter, and this beautiful rose was blooming. Anyway, I thought I'd just pop that in there. The other side of that paper. Now here's the other side of these documents that she gave me. So this is from 1974. Approved your registration as a New Zealand citizen. So that was for her father, but also she can write on the back of here. I love how it's all foxed and old looking. This is the other side of the eco print. Not quite sure what these flowers are. Oh, okay, so they're the other, oh sorry, yeah, I do know what they are. So that's the edge of the rose there, and these are Pahutakawa flowers, which is a native tree in New Zealand, and we've got a few around here, and they eco dye so beautifully. They're a bright red flower with little filaments, and I love the way these came out. So yeah, I put that in. So that's the other side again, because that's the outside of the bundle that I was boiling. Now the other side of the Weeds of New Zealand book, which had a little tear in it, so I've put some old sellotape, because I know you can make old sellotape, but I have a collection of it. Anything I buy that's got old sellotape on it, I get so excited, I rip it off and I shove it in that bag, and then I re-stick it onto things. So yeah, that's that. This is some black bean dyed paper. It's the other side of the prescription medicine, and a vintage playing card that Jo found when she was out op shopping, and she gave me some of those. I've just put some, I don't know if you can see it because of the bright light, but this is some beautiful embossed note paper on there. I put this lovely, I love this, the colour of this ribbon, the sari silk ribbon, and this is some old trim that I found, and it's still on its spool, chain cord. How cool is that? So yeah, I've put that on there. This is the other side of the piano music, and I've just turned that over so it can be a tuck, and some more eco printed paper with a little die cut stuck on, and I've just made this into a little scrappy notepad that Hilary can write notes or lists on, and then tear one off, tear a piece off. So yeah, I like how that turned out with some more of the eco print. This is the other side of that document, and actually it opens up that way, so that's why there's two in here, because I tore it along there so we could get all of it in. And I hope she doesn't mind that I've stitched that on there, but I think that's quite cool. Okay, I'm back. That's David coming home from a meeting and wanted to talk to me about it, which is fair enough. Yep, so that one opens out and it's got all the details there, and also there's space where Hilary could write on the back. So I thought that was a really cool document to put in. I kind of wanted to refold it maybe so it wasn't so out there. I mean, I could fold it there actually. I might do that, I might fold it there. It's just I didn't want too many folds in it, but I quite like that. I wonder if I should just put maybe a little pin there, and then anyway, I'm going to leave it like that now. I like that. That's the other part of the 1960s ledger from the lawyers in Napier, with some, I've done some modelling paste on there. I've stuck the avocado dyed paper to this 1914 New Zealand Gazette because it was quite fragile and I just wanted it to last. That's the lace pocket that pokes through to the other side, so I attached this little flower birthday book of flowers birthday book on there, and that opens up so you can write in it or look at it, and then it comes over, turns over. I've just put a little die cut on there. The two die cuts I've used are Tim Holtz, but they feel amazing because they're cut out of the eco dyed paper that I made. This is the other side of the digital, the lovely blue, the ruffle. The other side of that pink insurance form. The other side of the French document digital, and the other side of the wallpaper sewn with the fabric, and that's a little rose postcard that I actually got the other day. It says, "Dear Grandma, I wish you many happy returns of your birthday from your grandson Freddie." Oh, adorable. And this is the other side of, so that's the top of the document, the General Life Assurance Company, established in 1837. So again, that folds right in, and there's not another natural fold there, so that goes over. But yeah, there's some space for writing on here if she wants to. And there's a pocket here with some vintage wallpaper, and this is a piece of a French, I got some French things online at an Etsy shop called Diversities. That's probably not how you say it. And this was in one of the envelopes, and it's just a scrap, so I just stuck it on there because I thought it was cool. And that's a little pocket, so things can be put in there. So that's Hilary's book. I hope she likes it. It's a bit nerve-wracking giving someone a gift of something you've made. I don't think I've done, this will be the first time I've given someone one of my books. I kind of feel like when you sell them, then people are making a choice, they actually want it. But when you give it to someone, they haven't chosen. So I really love it, and I'm happy with how it came out. I could keep just adding more and more to it, but I don't really want, you know, can't just put every single good idea you have in one journal. That would be great, but I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out, so I hope she likes it. So thanks for watching. I hope you are all well. Hopefully this weather will pass and I'll be able to take some photos, but I might just have to do them in the under my ring light and see how we go. And I hopefully will see you again soon in the next video. Bye.